I'm going to ask you just a slew of different questions within the case, starting with, have you been able to clear any of the Guthrie family members?
Well, I put it like this. Everybody, particularly the Guthrie family, but everybody has been very cooperative with us. We've done a number of interviews and investigations and taken DNA swabs from a number of different people. They've all cooperated with us. And we look at what their stories are and we go, okay, the Rio Rico case, perfect example. That young man, we got a search warrant, went search his house, and he talked to us. We thought, okay, makes sense. And we left. But is he clear? Well, no, we don't know that. We don't think there was anything else to get from him at that time. But what if we end up, because all that evidence was taken and submitted for DNA, what if that DNA at that search warrant scene shows that Nancy was there? It's not clear. So the family, I'm going to say this real careful. They are under tremendous pressure and tremendous grief. And I think it's really irresponsible for anyone to start pointing fingers that way. They have been nothing but cooperative with us.
But I think cooperative and cleared are two different things.
I know, but the evidence will take us there if that's the case. Right now, we are working close with that family, and yeah, our hearts go out to them.
So they are not cleared as of now.
Nobody's cleared.
Nobody's cleared. Okay. I know there's still a lot of investigative efforts going on at Nancy Guthrie's home, at Annie Guthrie's home, and around southern Arizona. My question for Nancy Guthrie's home is, if there are continued investigative efforts, why is there no crime scene tape up?
So I don't know where this started, but let's go back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. Our team gets a call. We're looking for search and rescue efforts. Shortly around 2 o'clock, I get a call. I said, we need to turn this up. This could be a homicide, could be a kidnapping. And so we go that direction. They work it. I was out there till probably around midnight or 1 o'clock and went home. And when I'm out there, I'm not in the scene. People report that. That's not my role. I'm there to ask, what do you need? What does my team need to get? What resources can we get to accomplish? And we move on. They were out there probably till 7, 8 o'clock that morning. That's a Monday morning. I now start getting calls and I field all the media, but I realize that the national media is getting involved, and it's like I'm there on the phone in front of cameras like this from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I can't do that all day and still get this job done. And I think we tried to have a press conference the next morning. It was a little chaotic. I'll take that hit. But nevertheless, we held another press conference 2 days later. I think it went a lot better because we knew what you were looking for in terms of evidence and timelines. But that morning, Monday morning, because they're always saying the sheriff didn't get the FBI involved early on. The FBI was involved Monday morning. Within hours of that, we knew that, hey, we have some physical evidence here that needs to go to the lab. But we also knew we had some physical evidence here that the FBI has experts that are better at analyzing that, and we gave it to them. How do we know that? Because we've worked with the FBI for decades. I have department members assigned to that office and have for years. That relationship is critical, not just to the FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Department, but to this community.
But why not secure the scene now? I mean, as you guys continue on, why not secure it better? I mean, we had a guy deliver pizza up at the front door.
Because we processed the scene. We were done with the scene. The FBI, when you saw them come back, that would be a normal situation. They come in and say, hey, we're looking at this electronic stuff. Can we go see the house? Absolutely. And so they go back. There's no evidence gathered there. It's like yesterday, they were there at the scene doing what? Taking measurements to see, that video we have of that individual, that's critical to us.
So are they not taking new evidence, not seizing new evidence from the home right now?
I'm sorry?
Are they not collecting new evidence right now? When you say that part's done, they're just taking measurements. Are they not taking any more evidence?
I guess we have to understand when you're speaking of evidence. Are they gathering pieces of evidence off there and taking it in? No. What they're doing is they're doing some analysis of the evidence we gathered to see what can fit. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, it's no secret to you, there's been a lot of talk about tension between your department and the FBI and the controversial where the DNA is being tested, where the evidence is being tested. Can you just clarify the order here? And did the FBI want to test something at their lab, which is typically known to be the pristine lab, and did you say no?
So their lab is a great lab. We've used them before. They've solved cases. Our lab is a good lab too. We've used this lab for 40 years. So it's not like, oh, whose lab is better? They're both very capable labs. What happens is in these kinds of situations, we make a decision. We sit down at the table and talk. Investigators make, the sheriff doesn't make that decision. Investigators sit down and talk about it. What's the best strategy here? What happens is we had submitted our lab to our DNA to a lab for analysis. The FBI took the camera images and did that. When those camera images came back, what happens? FBI shares them with us.
Right.
When our lab reports come back, we share them. We now have a glove we found. Somebody found it. Not at the house. Somebody reported that. It's 2 miles away. But we're not going to disregard that. That'd be silly. So we go gather that glove and we take it. And the FBI said, well, we can send it to our lab. I said, well, why would we do that? We have a lab that has all the markers, right? You have the family members' markers. You have the landscaper, pool people, all those people, and they're at our lab. And we also have other evidence there. We had evidence from the Rio Rico search warrant scene. It's submitted there.
You did tell me last week, though, that your lab was down, and that's why you'd sent it to Phoenix. Last week, though, you did tell me at one point that the Tucson DNA testing lab was down, and that's why you sent it to Phoenix. Is that back up and running?
I don't recall ever saying the lab was down. I don't know what you're talking about.
You said that in our interview last week, I believe on Tuesday.
Maybe I was confused with something else, but that DNA lab's never been down.
Maybe it was the rapid DNA in Tucson? You said that's why you sent stuff up to Phoenix.
Yes, gotcha. Yes. The rapid DNA test is not a test that you can use in court, but it gets us quickly at a result to say, hey, we might have something here. That was down. So we went to DPS, yes.
Is it back up and running now in Tucson?
I believe so, yeah. I don't know. Tucson's so we have a DPS office here in Tucson. TPD has it, but for whatever reason, I didn't get into those details. Their labs said our DNA, our rapid DNA is down, or whatever that meant. I don't know.
Okay.
We just wanted some rapid DNA done, and so we sent it to DPS.
That makes sense. Important investigative tool to at least have on that.
I'm sorry. When I think of DNA at labs, I'm thinking our lab, FBI lab, those kinds of crime labs. Understand.
That makes sense. I want to ask you a little bit about the press conferences. So I know PCSD has said multiple times you will hold a press briefing if there is a significant development. We've had this surveillance video come out that was huge. We've had somebody detained and released. So what does your department consider a significant development to address the media?
You know, we discuss all of this, and it is a discussion with our team, the FBI, and talk about it. You know, if you go back to those press conferences, you'll recall who's standing next to me.
The FBI.
Both the FBI. They were a part of this. We still are a part of this. Nobody gets to say we're doing this or we're doing that. It is we collectively sit at it. The SWAT team used at the home in Rio Rico. Who was that going to be? We talked about it. FBI had that. So ransom notes. Who should handle ransom notes? FBI, you're great at that stuff. Give it to them. But that's the kind of process. I don't think what I've spent time talking to you about was probably 10 times as long as it talked to the FBI about, hey, let's send this to your lab or my lab. That was just crazy. And that's what got me out here. I know you guys want information, and we want you to have the information. That camera, the video that you see, that individual, people say, oh, we had it for days. We held that for less than 2 hours. We got it and said, we need this out there. And so you get it. You have some work to do to put it together because it's pretty fresh. So we sent it out because we know that's vital. It's generated more leads than anything else we can imagine.
I would imagine. I mean, it was a key.
Last question.
It was key evidence there. Okay, I'm going to ask you one more thing then. Based on where we are now, that man was detained and then released. You said he's not clear, but he definitely is not still in custody. Are we any closer to having charges for the person who abducted Nancy Guthrie, and are we any closer to finding her?
I think we're closer. Yes, absolutely. Every lead counts. That we had, just going back a couple of days, we had 18,000 calls. FBI had 14, 15,000. That's 30 some thousand calls. I have 400 cops, feds, state, local, all over the state, people volunteering. I would be crazy to say, no, I don't want your help. That's what's crazy about this with the FBI.
So should we expect an arrest soon or charges soon?
Well, I would hope so, but I can't say that. What I would tell you is look, all 400 cops out there, everybody's working hard. The community is working hard. We want Nancy home. That's the key. Does it happen in an hour? Does it happen in a day, a week, a month, a year? I don't know, but I know this. We're not going to quit. We're never going to give up.
My very last question on that, just from based on what you said, is this still a rescue mission, or have you shifted into somewhat of a recovery mission? Where does that stand today?
Every time we go out, we're looking to rescue somebody.
And it still stands as that. You still believe that Nancy could be alive?
I believe she is. Why would I not? The family believes it. I believe it. There's nothing to indicate she's not. So okay. I'm not going to go there.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your time. Thank you to your department for doing this interview.
Sorry for cutting you short, but yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Bye.